Welcome back to another segment of You Know What I Mean. This week we came across something, of course, from Justin Laboy that said, the more bills a woman pays by herself, the less attractive you niggas become. We want to welcome back, still with us from episode 11, Tiffany and Izzy, to discuss this with us. And I don't know why we laughing. Only we gonna know why we laughing. But yeah, this right here, when I saw this meme, I sent it to Nick and I said, you know what the fuck I mean. There was no doubt in my mind this is what we were using. Because I was pissed. It did. Because this is the whole, this goes along with this whole concept of women not needing men. And men only being good for their money. And it's like, yo.
Those things are contradictory though.
Yes. Like I said, well, that's the thing, is like,
you can't not need a man and then want a man to pay your bills.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's what that meme is saying, is like, oh, well now, because a woman has her money, she doesn't need a man. So now we're literally only our pockets. We're nothing else.
Yeah, right.
And so when it comes to, like I said in episode 11, men are far more devalued than women today. Yet
from a relationship standpoint.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will never hear that though. Women usually wouldn't admit to that.
Yeah.
And so we had to do it on
Please don't confuse societal value versus
not at all.
We are not saying that we're less valuable than all society. That we less valuable.
Are we talking about?
No, I just want to make that clear.
Are we talking about men in general, or are we talking about? I'm a black man. I know I'm the most devalued person in America. So
we're talking.
We're gonna do men in general. That's heavy.
Oh, okay.
They're not ready for that.
I'm sorry.
Our viewers aren't ready for that.
Okay, my bad. Shut up. Sorry.
So yeah, we're gonna throw it around, but I want to start with the ladies first.
So the quote makes a lot of sense. I will agree to a certain extent that yes and no. I think that quote, when I think about that, I think about, okay, we live in SoCal, right? It's hard living here. It's hard living here in something nice, you feel me? I like to say I'm simple with the side of bougie. And my side of bougie side, I can fulfill that for myself. So I don't necessarily need to do that. And I don't, again, like, my value of what I personally value is not money. Mine's more so experiences. So you kind of need money for that, because I like to travel, I like certain things to do or whatever, but I also like picnics that cost $10. I like going to the beach that don't cost nothing, like stuff like that. So it really depends on the person, but I think, as you guys have mentioned in your past podcasts, you've talked about women, the feminine movement? Feminist movement. That was a very interesting topic to listen. I definitely went back and listened to what y'all had to say a couple times, because I didn't necessarily agree with it, but I can see your point of view on it, because most women, historically, we're supposed to marry and have the man take care of us. That's historically what we, whatever. But we've all, of course, we've grown from that. And I feel like because of that, it has empowered women who have been cheated on in monogamous types of relationships back then or whatever, and had to deal with it because they had no job, so they could not leave. Now it's like, I can leave now, right? So I think that that's where that empowerment comes from, and that I don't need a man. I've touched on it prior, saying that I don't need a man is coming from a hurt place, because women have been hurt. But I don't believe that should be the case. So, like, as much as I acknowledge that is true, I have low-key felt that way. Like, it's like, why would I be impressed by a dude, like, throwing money at me when, like, I have my own, and that's not valuable to me? But it's valuable to me for a man to feel good about himself. If that means you making a lot of money, great. If that means you spend it on me, cool, but I don't need that. So that's my own personal opinion on that.
I feel that.
You know?
I feel that.
I think one thing that's interesting is when we talk about these things, right? And we're talking about finances, right? At the end of the day, and we talked about this on the last podcast, only 9% or 10% of the American population make a six-figure salary and up, right? So we live in Southern California,
Men.
one of the most.
Men.
What's that?
10% of men.
10% of men. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe it's okay. So maybe 20% of total in the United
Yeah,
States. Let's
yeah.
just double it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's less, but let's just double it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we live in Southern California. It's probably one of the top 5 most expensive places to live in the entire world. I'm not exactly sure if it's top 5, but okay, it's at least
very
top 10.
expensive.
It's at least top 10. So why haven't we gotten back to this idea that we are so much stronger together, right? Like, because at the end of the day, not everybody makes a six-figure salary. But if you make $55,000 a year and I make $75,000 a year, I'm trying to do the math on that. We make $130,000, right? Did I do the math on that?
Yeah.
We make $130,000 a year together, right? So whatever happened to this idea of, instead of saying, you know, I need somebody to make this or do this or provide this for me or provide that for me, why can't we get back to the idea of just people working together and not this idea that, oh, I don't need your money. Like, no, you do need my money, and you need me as a man to step in and do certain things, and vice versa. I need you, not even just as a man, just as another person, as a complementary person to your life, and vice versa. This idea that, oh, I don't need you because you're not paying my bills. It does put both ways. If I said that about a woman, I'm devaluing the fact that she does bring something to the table. If I say as a man, oh, I don't need your money. Like, yeah, I may not need it, but can we, with your money or with mine, can we enhance what we have? Can we have a balance in a relationship and get back to a place of, you know, equality? It doesn't always look the exact same, but just equality in general and working together and not being on this whole, you know, one side or the other. Like, I don't know, personally, I'm so over that, personally.
Yeah.
Like,
I would love that. Sounds like a nice life you're talking about.
Yeah.
but then the person has to buy in, though.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Two people
And
have to buy into
I'm
that
here to
idea.
tell you that there are people, especially women out there that will, that are still single, and that are just living their life in luxury. Just be like, who wants to jump in? You feel me?
Yeah.
So you know, it's like that.
Well,
It's normally the
I will
woman,
say,
to be honest.
it's a specific type of woman that's like, that's not about that. The specific type of woman who thinks that they're gonna get by just off of their looks, and you ain't worth shit as a man if you are not coming to her talking about, I want to take you here and do this and that.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. It's a specific type.
But that's called humility, bro. And
So-
a lot of people ain't got it.
So
A
so
lot of
here's
people ain't got it.
here's the thing. Women are not historically used to a position of financial power.
True.
Historically. you're
Okay?
right. Mhm.
So if we're talking about a accomplished woman, right? These are still accomplished women who have that sort of mindset. Okay? Now the problem is that it's cool for you to make money and to have your own money, but that's not a part of our money. That's my money, right? So a man's money is my money too, but my money's my money. You know what I'm saying?
I lived it.
So
Okay, I hear you.
listen.
I hear you.
So listen. The problem.
It goes back to that. I'm in my pockets and it's
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let me say this.
Oh,
that's
man.
Let me say this.
Man. But it happens so
Hold
much.
on, hold on.
Go ahead.
I hate to break it to y'all, but women who think like that, it just indicates ain't nobody changed that much. Shit ain't changed.
Yeah.
We still, whether women want to believe it or not, we are still wired very traditionally.
Yeah. You're right.
We're just in a place where there is a evolution from a mentality standpoint to try to reject it. But y'all still subconsciously are attracted to that shit.
Yeah.
You know what kind of relation I would make, or what kind of comparison I would make, and what you said when you started that off. You said women are not historically accustomed to making this kind of money, right?
Right.
It sounds a lot like black people, and how in most cases you will hear that black people don't know how to spend their money, what to do with their money, because they're not used to having it.
That's right.
Right.
Or taught how to.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when you give that money to women, they're not sure how to make that work in a relationship, how to apply that in a relationship because they're not used to being providers.
Well, here's the dilemma. Is that as a man, if you make money, men don't use money as a means to diminish your femininity.
Definitely.
That's facts.
Women who make a lot of money use their money as an excuse to diminish a man's masculinity.
Agreed.
And that's where we're getting to a point where it's like, that's why I'm pushing back and I'm like, y'all really don't want this equality shit because y'all don't know what that really looks like.
Is having money masculine? Do you think that?
I think providing is a masculine quality. Provision is a
Now, and I'll speak to two things based on experience. I literally, it's so funny because I am in therapy. Yes, I have no problem admitting that I am in therapy.
Me too. That's a
And
good
it's
thing.
and
Look
it's
at us.
so interesting that I was, I haven't been in therapy that long, but I was, my therapist was getting just a history and it's funny because my own therapist told me that he watches like his own sister do that to her husband. The idea that like they make close to the same amount of money, but her money is hers and his money is theirs. And it's just like literally,
it's not equality.
It's not equality.
No.
It's not equality. And
It's
like I
highway
said,
robbery.
I have literally lived this. And
So
and
you
the
want it to
thing
be
is,
separate?
No,
Is
no,
that
no.
what you desire?
No. That's not what I'm saying. What we want is what we want. No. What I wanted, and this is where it comes from, like humility. What I wanted in my relationship, and this is from experience. I wanted the woman who I was with at the time to admit that what I provided for her mattered, but she could not admit that. So the issue was, like, I'll never forget. So I spoiled mine, right? I did. Like, she drove a badass car with a nice ass houses. She always had jewelry. Like, I bought her a fucking $25,000 ring, like all that shit, right? Like, I spoiled mine. But so another.
Damn.
Okay. But what I'm saying is we're having this. I remember we're having this discussion, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, hey, I'm providing all this and blah 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 blah, but there's no reciprocation. And mind you, she had a good job and made good money. So but there's no reciprocation. It's like her money is hers. I'm paying 80% of the bills, and our salaries got to a point where they were pretty comparable.
She never spoiled you?
Hell no. Mike treated me like shit. Hell no.
We should not dabble
Like,
into that.
fuck no. Never.
I was just curious.
Never. Not outside of the first fucking 6 months of the relationship. No, never. So what I'm saying is that, like, we had this conversation. Like, my ex drove a fucking badass car, right? From, like, y'all know the new body style E-Class?
No,
Make
not
sure.
yours.
Okay. Well, the new body style Mercedes E-Class, she got that shit before fucking everybody had it when it came back out in 2016. So, but it's crazy because she paid her car note, right? Out of her own pocket. I put down the down payment. She paid her car note out of her pocket, right? But she didn't pay the mortgage. She didn't pay most of the household bills. All I asked her to do was pay for her shit, utilities, and yeah, that was it. Her shit, utility, and some utilities. I paid, mortgage, phone bills, all that other shit, right? Car insurance, all that shit, right? So literally, we're sitting there and we're having this conversation, and I'm like, there was one time I think I had an issue with my car because I always drove an old car. Even though I'm the one paying all the fucking bills, I'm driving an old ass car. You driving a brand new fucking car, and I'm the one doing the commuting. But that's a whole nother conversation. And I'm sitting here and I said, my car's having some issues right now. It's old. I want to give it a break, right? Let me drive your car to work today, right? You know what the answer was? No, I don't want you driving that. Well, why? Because that's my car. Nigga, what? Are you fucking kidding me? That's your car? Like, this is the level of entitlement that men are dealing with in their relationships nowadays.
All about entitlement.
It's all about what I think I deserve. And the thing is like, and then the cool part about it is, if you were nice, which you're not, if you had a good attitude, which you don't, if you actually like did things maybe around the house to make my life easier in some sort of way, okay, fine. Like I wouldn't mind doing this shit. But it's like, no, all those things, 50-50. You wash just as much clothes as me, you do this, this, and that. But then it's like, oh, but if I'm paying, but I gotta pay all the bills and I gotta deal with your bullshit, which I don't give you, but you give me. But somehow, some way, this is the way that it's supposed to be. And I'm an asshole for challenging this idea. Mm-hmm. And this is what a lot of men will tell you that they are dealing with this in their relationship. Now, my shit came with a lot, like I said, a lot of mental, emotional, all that shit. But that's not, but that part right there is to me a separate issue. What I'm simply speaking to is that sense of entitlement that as a man, and I actually heard this, you are supposed to be doing this for me. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, if I tell you, oh, well, fine, if you think I'm supposed to be doing that, oh, well, you're supposed to be doing this. No, it's not 1920 anymore. I don't have to do that.
Well, I first want to say, I want to apologize on behalf of all women. You have to deal with some shit like that. Because that sucks.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. Doesn't sound like there's anything good in that. And yeah.
What's that?
You're surprised, what?
I am surprised. I could never imagine you thinking like that. And
I
know
can't
that.
imagine you putting up with
It's
that.
more common. It's more common. than you
Anybody here?
realize.
Am I lying?
I don't even
No.
Am I lying at all? Am I over exaggerating? Am I
Here's the
embellishing?
thing.
Okay, all right.
You're the exception to the rule, but it is far more common than people realize.
It is.
Women walk around like they're just supposed to exist, and men just do everything for them, and they just sit there.
Even when they got it, that's the thing.
Exactly.
Even when they got it, we're
Well,
still supposed
let
to
me
do
play devil's advocate and also, I guess, agree with what you're saying. Because I feel as though, so I come from, like, my father desires for me to find a man that will take care of me because I take care of myself and I've taken care of both my brothers for a long time. And I feel like I've gotten into a space, which I talk about with my therapist all the time, where I will get into a space of like, I don't have nobody to take care of me and I'm taking care of everybody. I'm taking care of everything at work and I'm taking care of everything on my own and my friends, my family, and it can be very lonely as a female.
Definitely.
So I feel like I hear what you're saying on that side because my femininity reaches for my father figure, who is the most amazing father. I couldn't ask for better. And who asked in my family structure, my father he finds so much joy in taking care of his family financially. That is actually where he hates when I buy him gifts. He doesn't know how to even be happy about it. And I'm like, fuck, I love giving gifts. And that's like my, one of my love languages. But I had to understand that that's the way that he finds value in who he is as a man. Which is very interesting.
It's a massive.
So I think sometimes, I'm going to go back to you because you said traditionally and like, I think, I don't know, genetically or whatever, like women desire that. And we do. Deep down, I hate to admit that I want a man to take care of me. Because I can't take care of myself.
Oh, why? That's
because I feel like, again, my own experience of seeing men date certain women, that are half fake, that are OnlyFans models or whatever, or these icons or whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, you got a real-ass female with all natural shit, all that, all whatever you want, everything written up right on a list. But that's not what you want, right?
Can I ask you a question? Two questions actually. Number one, do you think that you could really I'm saying that wrong. Is it possible that you said you want somebody to take care of you and you feel like you're taking care of everybody else. Do you feel that it's possible that you inherently don't know how to allow that to happen?
Agreed.
And also too, what you're saying about men in general, because I've spoken to this and I spoke about it on the last podcast, do you think that could be the men who you're attracted to?
So yeah, I feel that. I think also some men who are attracted to me and show interest are in a specific like cluster that I'm like my industry. I don't really want to date my industry because I see too much and I'm like I'm not about that. So I feel like yes, I hear you on that, but I also think that it does have to do with my own like hurt sometimes that doesn't make me want to desire to even like try anything that might be anything like I've experienced before. So it's that too. Again, it's operating from hurt. So you know, which we all do. But I think now I'm in a space of like knowing exactly what I want. That I'm not only willing to wait, but it's like it's worth the moments of sometimes feeling lonely. You know, a little retail therapy, I'm good again. I'm going to the gym, I'm good again. You know, it's like it's all that self-care stuff that we got to do to keep ourselves going. And it's acknowledging that I feel that way, and that's okay. And it's okay to, you know, like I got a lot of heat from my parents for being 26 and not married yet, and I'm like, I'm just 26 still, like, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of females get that heat at a specific age. Oh, you're over 25 and you ain't got a dude. It's like, what you waiting on? It's like,
not looks wise, but mentally, I thought you were older than that actually. I
Hell
don't know if you're 26.
I've done a lot of work.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I know we gotta
wrap it up.
Here's the thing. As a man, I think I speak for all men. We need y'all.
Yeah. Facts.
We actually need y'all, and we have never had a problem saying we need y'all. It's offensive when women just can't simply acknowledge that they need us.
I hear that.
That's offensive to us.
Men actually do, like, yeah, we can find worth in ourselves, just like everybody should be able to, but we still, like, men feel. Men do feel. You know what I mean? Like, we want to feel valued too.
Women love to do that. Oh, I want a man. It's not a need, it's a want. Look, I can take care of myself. I'm a man. I got, you know, I ain't the biggest dude in the world, but I can fix shit around my house. I can build some shit if I need to. I make good money. I can buy my home. I can take care of myself all day, any day. And you will never hear the words come out of my mouth that I don't need a woman. That because it's bullshit. It just is like we're designed
to be with each other,
and that's the thing. Like it is, we are supposed to be together. Now, I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody that subscribes to different,
we're not talking
all that. We're not talking about.
Right,
But I'm just saying, from a biological relationship standpoint, companionship, physiology, we are meant to be together. So we got to get out of this. I don't need this. I don't need you. I don't need me. Now, maybe you don't need that type. Maybe you don't need this type, whatever. But no, you as a woman, y'all need a man. As a man, I need a woman. And I don't have a problem admitting that.
You know what though? My thing is this. I want to touch on the meme specifically because I really feel like the way you read it really does. It's gonna affect the way you react to it. So it's all in the context of what you read it. So like you read it, you were pissed off, right?
Facts.
And why were you pissed off?
Because it just completely devalues what a man brings to the table. It just makes it be all about money.
Right. See, now when I listen to it, I more so looked at it. I look at that meme as like self-reflection. I don't even look at it like, oh, it's because this is what women value. I don't even look at it like that. I look at it from my own personal experience, right? So when I was with my daughter's mom, everybody knows this, or anybody who knows me, I ain't have shit. Like, I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have a bank account. I had next to no money. I had nothing, and she was there. She held it down for like 2.5 years, you know what I mean? And she like any idea I had, or like, I told you at that time I was still rapping and all that, and she was behind it, you know what I mean? But me personally being able to like look back in hindsight, I felt less attractive because I know as a man, I want to be able to provide or do more, you know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, like I look back at that shit all the time, I'm like, I wonder why she stayed with me that long, you know what I mean? Like, shit. You know what I mean? I ain't had nothing. You know, like, no, but that's real though. You know, I'm just like, I could look back and I could own up to that. And then it's like, now on the flip side of things, you fast forward to, like, my last situation where now I'm making more than the woman. You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel a lot different about myself. Even though the woman, even though she's making less, she's dealt with higher caliber people, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I said I need to know who you've been rocking with so I don't look stupid, you know what I mean? But she's dealt with 7, 8, 9-figure earners, you know what I mean? And, it is what it is, but I felt confident enough in myself because I know, look, at the end of the day, I'm paying bills, I'm doing this, and if you were to leave, I'll replace you. You know what I mean? Because I can handle my own now. You know what I mean? So when I read that, I actually agree with that meme wholeheartedly. Yeah. Simply because
I agree with it too. I agree with it. I do think women lose respect for a man if he can't take care of them, or even at the least bit take care of himself. I do agree with the meme. I think it's very true for the vast majority of women. Women have not evolved enough to not lose respect for men who don't take care of them.
My thing is this,
I will say though, I wouldn't have been with my ex to this day if he wouldn't have cheated. I will say that.
You said you.
I would have been with my broke ass ex with no job. I was commuting to where he lived an hour every weekend.
Damn.
I would have stayed in that because he was feeling everything else, and I was happy with that. That's me though. That's not a lot of women. It's not.
But again, though, in my point, it's not even about what the women's feeling. It's about how I'm feeling about myself. You know what I mean? Like, every day I want to be able to walk up to the mirror and be like, I look good.
No, I agree with you, but it's still, it's still about
what you got going on.
But it's still about the response as far as how men view it.
Well, look, before we wrap it up, this is what I'm gonna say about that. I feel you guys on the aspect of a woman wants a man who can take care. The problem that I have with the meme is that it didn't say the less attractive you broke niggas become. It said the less attractive you niggas become. Yeah. Meaning, because a woman has it financially together, she wants and needs no man. She desires no man because she can financially take care of herself. Yeah, right. So it's all about money. It's like it's I don't need a man who can contribute to my life
from a literal standpoint. Right. 100%.
Yeah, I don't need a man who can contribute to my life, nor do I want a broke nigga. Right. So it's like, come on, man, like for real. Just because you got some money, now you don't like men.
But I feel like, but you know what though? I really feel like, again, it's about perspective in the context of what you read that meme. Because if you reading that meme as a woman saying that to you, then it seems like, okay, yeah, it's about money. But if you read those same exact words and it's your OG telling you that shit, it's just like, y'all little niggas gotta step up. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying.
Y'all niggas gotta do better, which we do.
I hear what you're saying.
Men, we gotta do better.
But in the context of that meme, like he talking about women's response to dudes. He's not talking about dudes' response to dudes.
I mean, yeah, but he's just saying a switch of perspective.
No, I hear that.
It's literally how you choose to read it. Because it's not like it was quoted and said, this was said by Sweetie.
No, that's a good point. No, I hear you.
Just the meme, it's literally how you perceive it when you read it.
I really hope that you guys need less women that just value money. I hope you do.
But I'm curious, bro.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I have one.
When you saw the meme,
yeah, you're good.
How many comments under it were, yes, queen, period.
He's like, that ain't me.
All that. And that's the toxicity right there.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But obviously, I felt so passionately about it. So thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Plus, get exclusive and behind-the-scenes footage by subscribing on Patreon. We also appreciate all donations, so if you would like to support, please don't hesitate to hit that Cash App in the description below.